We got a big, exciting video for y'all today. We've been teasing for a while now a new build that we've had in our back pocket, and I think it's time that we actually unveil it for y'all. Little backstory.
Yeah.
Before we even had the red cart or Big Bob's cart, we had a blue cart.
It's true.
It was a little Yerf Dog 30033. I'll probably never talk about it by its actual name like that ever again because it sounds terrible. But it was the first cart that we ever got.
We saw it on the side of the road. We went and checked it out, and
I think I hustled you into buying it for yourself as a Father's Day present. But it was a good one, right?
yeah, and it was just sitting outside.
Yeah.
It needed a lot of TLC.
We can actually take a look at that when we go back and get it, because we still have it. It's been living outside for a couple years now.
Yeah.
We kind of stopped maintaining it because it was like killing my back. There was a couple years where I could handle just getting jostled around, like, you know, hammering up and down the power lines, going through the trails and just sending it.
Yeah.
And my young spine could take it, and my now prematurely old spine doesn't like it anymore. So we're gonna be giving it a complete overhaul. We're gonna go from two-person kids cart with no rear suspension and a 6.5 horsepower Tecumseh. It's going to go from that little stiff, rigid cart into a wider than the red cart, lower than the red cart, and fully independent suspension cross cart. Cut the original cage off, weld up a brand new one, brand new front end, brand new rear end, brand new engine, and a lot of brand new parts. And speaking of brand new parts, this is our very first build sponsored by Go Power Sports.
Yeah.
So we've got a bunch of boxes over here that we're gonna go through and unveil, kind of do a unboxing and show you guys all the parts that they sent out for us. As you guys know, we're gonna put everything down in the description where you can find all this stuff. Go Power Sports is a great go-to one-stop shop for almost anything that you're gonna need for almost any kind of go-kart, or even if you're doing custom stuff like we do, you can always find what you need. So that's gonna be really, really cool.
Yeah.
But before we do all that, I think we should get the blue cart in here.
Yeah. We're gonna have to literally tow it in here.
So we'll have to pull your cart out.
Yep.
And see if we can drag this thing out with all of its flat tires and sadness.
Yeah.
You ready, Trey? I'm ready, man. All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
We really got to fix that cage, don't we?
Yeah, that would be nice. And this.
Yeah. We're gonna need a tube bender for that, though. We'll have to get our hands on one.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So I wasn't kidding. This thing's in a pretty sad state of disrepair.
Yeah.
But
Got promise.
it's got promise. It's a great platform.
It is a great platform.
Front tire's gonna have to go back on. I think I have the right nut for it.
Just check your back pocket real quick.
Almost thought it was a fuse. Let's see. Big Bob, do you want to lift up this front end for me? And I can get the wheel back on, and then we'll tie this up to the back of your cart, and we'll just drag it out. Go from there.
Yeah, for sure.
There it is. There we go. I might have cross-threaded that, but a cross-thread is a tight thread, kids. Remember that. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, we got that. Okay. I didn't make it very far in Boy Scouts, if you can't tell with my knot tying. Once the Pinewood Derby was over, I was pretty much out of it, to be honest. So what do you say?
Sure.
Try dragging it?
Yeah, let's go. Let me turn the key for you.
Then I'll start you up.
You want me to start?
Yeah.
Go?
Yep. It's fine, just go. Right.
Hold up, Big Bob, hold up.
You can cut that out, right, Trey?
Not this one, buddy.
Alright, send it. That's close enough.
That went better than I expected.
No, man. You'd think he learned to trust me by now. Cut to me rolling the cart, cut to him rolling the cart, cut to me setting the seats on fire, cut to me blowing up our electrical system. Come on, guys. So, yeah. Fond memories with this cart, most of which are super sketchy.
Hey, we just gonna roll it in as is?
Huh? Yeah.
All right, cool. Beautiful.
This thing hasn't been in the garage in years. This thing's got a lot of history. Like we said, this is our first cart that we ever bought. And teenage Bobby's poor flux welding skills are littered all over this thing. You can see we broke the cage off here and here, had to weld those back. I think I welded the cage together over here because we lost some of the hardware. You can see down here where I tore off both of the actual like knuckles. So there's a lot of room for improvement. Just like the red cart and pretty much every Yerf dog I've ever seen, the steering wheel is offset to the side. We have two different length tie rods, which used to make it really, really hard to keep this thing like aligned well, and it's steered terribly. The even bigger problem than that is that this cart runs the tie rods underneath the body of the cart. It's like the lowest point of the front end is where the tie rods connect. So every time we went out, we'd basically break tie rods because you hit a rock and you can see these things are all bent up. Yeah, we won't have tie rod issues anymore because everything's gonna get relocated up into here. And you can see this thing had this old bench seat. This is gonna come out. We're gonna reposition the wheel to the middle, and this is gonna be our very first single seat build, which I'm really excited about because this is a cross cart. Everything that we're gonna be doing is completely performance oriented. We're staying super low on weight. We're gonna center everything up, keep it really low. It's gonna be wide. I'm gonna completely take this old cage off and build one completely from scratch. I may even do like some kind of like an actual like door so that you can even be more protected from the sides, but sitting in the middle is gonna give us even more protection in the case of a rollover. But I will say, the way this thing's gonna be designed, I'll be very surprised if we do roll it over. And I'm probably gonna regret saying that, but at least I'll have something to cut back to. As we move back here, you can see that the rear end has no suspension whatsoever, like I was talking about. So there's good things and bad things about that. It's good because it's gonna make our life easier when we go to transition to a fully independent rear suspension. Tiny little 6.5 horsepower Tecumseh, that's gonna get upgraded, and we'll show you exactly what's gonna go in its place. And the other really cool stuff we're gonna do is, because I wanna keep this thing really low and performance oriented, I've always been bothered by these big sprockets that hang down below. So this time, since we're gonna have to be redoing this whole system anyways, I'm gonna try and basically relocate the sprocket up to a jack shaft that'll run back here, which will allow us to have way more ground clearance underneath, even when this thing is slammed real low. So we'll have a small sprocket on the axle that drives the wheels, and then this big sprocket will be in the middle, runs to our torque converter, and we're gonna get better ground clearance out of it. Oh, I forgot about this. I got crazy one day and decided to put a straight pipe on it. That was the first time we had a cart spitting flames. That thing was epic. Yeah, so should we go do some unboxing?
Let's do that.
Yeah, bro. Sick. All right, let's get to this unboxing.
Yeah.
Now, like we said, this build is sponsored by Go Power Sports, but there's a couple things you can't get from Go Power Sports, like car parts, and we're gonna be incorporating some of those. Our rear axles are coming out, well, it would go into a 90s Miata. These ones are brand new. These are gonna be our rear axles.
Beefy.
Yeah, and that's gonna allow us to have our independent rear suspension. This is the side that's gonna go to the sprocket. This side comes down to the wheels. There's our sick axle nut.
Nice.
And then to connect our wheels to it, these are our hubs.
Wow.
They've got splines on the inside to match the splines on these axles. Wow. And our wheels are gonna go right on there. And in between here, there'll be a big bearing, which I also have, but it's not that cool to look at, but we'll make some kind of an attachment so we can have the bearing held in to our rear A-arms. This is gonna be how our rear wheels turn.
Yeah.
Feel that, man.
Yeah, I can see it. Wow.
A little curl
Wow,
in there.
that is heavy.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Nice. So, all right, enough. We get it. Next up, we have a big old spun aluminum gas tank. Was supposed to go into Big Bob's cart because early on he thought my 5-gallon gas tank was gonna look cartoonish and ridiculous.
It's very true.
And then as soon as he got this one, and he was like, me, I want the big tank. So I was like, we'll just put it in another build. So yeah, this will get mounted right up in there.
Yeah.
And this is actually good because we're trying to save weight on this cart and everywhere that we can. We're not doing crazy treks with that one like our other carts are designed for.
Right.
This is just for sending it. So if we burn through all this, it means it was a good day. I'll give you that back. Okay. We've got 3 big, fun-looking boxes over here to go through.
Yeah, I can't
and I've been
see
really
that.
excited about this.
Yeah, same here.
All right, so check it out. In here is all of our Go Power Sports goodies.
Nice.
Get a look at that sticker, Trey. You know what that says?
I believe that says no oil.
That's right. So our power plant is in here. So right now, get down in the comments and I want to see your best guess at what you think is in this box. So we're gonna be using the Miata axles to actually drive the wheels, but like I mentioned, we're gonna have jack shafts set up so that I can relocate the sprocket up higher and give us better ground clearance. And so we're gonna be cutting up and using this beautiful 3-foot 1-inch axle from Go Power Sports. This is the same kind of thing as we run on our carts, but they make these in multiple sizes. This is the 3-foot. Something that's important when you're buying these, it's 3 foot from the end of the threads to the end of the threads. And this tapers down to 3/4 inch here. And so with a 3-foot axle, it's actually 32 inches of 1-inch axle. And then you're getting a couple extra inches of the threads on either side. So take that into account. I just need a keyed shaft. We're gonna run this through some big pillow blocks. It's gonna be mint.
Nice.
A beautiful brand new 60-tooth sprocket that's going to accept our 1-inch axle for our Jackshaft there, and this is gonna run 420 chain for us, again, from Go Power Sports. Check it out. All the links will be in the description. We're gonna be running a 60 tooth on this cart as opposed to the 70 tooth. We're actually gonna be running 19-inch tires all the way around on this one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And so we don't have to compensate for having those bigger tires. This should give us plenty of torque. Stickers!
Nice.
Love that. These are gonna be our front hubs. And what's really cool about this is we're actually gonna have front brakes for the first time. So we're doing front and rear hydraulic brakes on this, and I'm sure I'll find that in here somewhere. But we got a pretty epic assortment here of Go Power Sports various gussets that they make. Beautiful gussets you can use for supports all over the place.
Nice.
And I always recognize these when I see them in people's builds, like, oh, look at that. They got these from Go Power Sports. So I love that. Also some cool like 45-degree angle gussets. I don't even know what we're gonna use these for just yet, but it's the kind of stuff that's really handy to just have around the shop. And whenever you want it, you just go and grab it. I don't have to cut out some specific thing. So it's really nice. These are your spindle connections. So if you want to make your own spindles or replace the ones that you have, these are going to go right on there. You can either go one on each spindle to turn your wheels. I think for us, we're going to do 2 just to be super heavy duty. And we'll put a Heim joint through the middle. That's going to be awesome. And then these, you can never have too many of these. These are all locking collars for your 1-inch axles. So we use a lot of these on our axles because things slide around a lot, because I slide around a lot. Clamp these down, it's gonna keep your axle exactly where you want it. They've also got a slot for a key in here. And so we've got a bunch of 1/4-inch key stock, got some valve stems in here. We got our 420 chain. Go Power Sports sells their 420 chain in various lengths, and so you can kind of get that however you need it. Thank you, sir. Ooh. So this is the 150cc brake kit from Go Power Sports. This is a direct replacement for various Chinese carts, but all that's on their website and we'll put a link to it just like everything else. Brake fluid in it, it's been bled, it's ready to go.
Wow.
We've got our front calipers up here, gold, nice touch. And then we got our rear caliper back here in black. Even got the e-brake built into it.
Oh, really? Nice.
This is a dual piston master cylinder, so this should be pushing quite a bit of fluid for us. And to make my life easier, there's connections that'll actually turn the brake lights on when you brake. This is the GT front hubs. It's a replacement part for all those 150cc go-karts. I like them a lot. They're just steel, heavy duty.
Durable as heck.
Durable as heck.
Yeah.
Our hubs will go right through there perfectly. So we got 4 of these. These are gonna go all the way around. All right, big box. Here we have brand new engine plate.
Nice.
Ooh, wow.
Wow.
So we got 2 of these for the rear.
Sweet. No joke.
White and chrome is giving me all kinds of fun ideas for color scheme on this thing. Another smaller Jackshaft here that we're gonna be using for other things. It's nice to have options. And here's our front shocks.
Nice.
Another one of these Jackshafts. And then these are gonna be what we make our spindles out of as well.
Okay.
So that will run through here. All right, and now, in preparation for the piece de resistance, let's move all this.
That's good.
All right, before we do this, did everybody get their guesses in the comments? Okay. You know how hard it's been to leave these boxes unopened since they got delivered? Really, really hard. But that's all right. We finally get to do it. No, I'll actually pull it out this time.
There she is.
There she is, baby. The real McCoy. We got ourselves a Tillotson. Another little engine plate option. Brake rotors, so there's our fronts.
Nice.
Here's our rear. Freaking drilled, bro.
Yeah.
Can you say cross-cart things? And now, without any further ado, the one and only Tillotson 225. Got ourselves a nice fancy air filter on here. This is a genuine Mikuni carburetor. This is a like motorcycle carburetor. So this engine right here, I mean, feel it. Compare that to our 420s.
It's light.
Yeah, super light.
Yeah, nice.
Our 420s are probably 75 pounds apiece.
Yeah.
So this is way lighter and makes just about the same amount of power. And again, that Mikuni carb on here is gonna be awesome. We're gonna get much better throttle response. This is a carburetor designed for motorcycles, and so they're actually expecting you to be revving it through the range and accelerating and decelerating, whereas stock carburetors expect basically that you're just going to set it and forget it because they're utility engines, and so they don't even have, they've got an idle jet and then your main jet, and that's it. Ultimately, you're gonna want more jets in there to handle various different conditions. And so this is gonna be a huge step up in that department. That Kart is gonna be
Is the
feather
new
light.
Kart gonna be the fastest one?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's wild.
yeah, straight up.
That's cool.
And it'll be geared to be the fastest one.
Right,
You know what I mean? Like our current karts, right now they top out at 45, and that's by design. We're mostly off-road. You don't need to be going any faster than that around corners in the dirt. We learned that
Right.
a couple times.
Yeah.
We don't have it here, but we're also gonna be running the Juggernaut torque converter. It's a 30 series that Go Power Sports makes, and that's gonna help us put the power down and not slip our belts when we're out there sending it. It's about the same size as that 6 horsepower Tecumseh that we got.
I was wondering that, if that rear end is gonna be sufficient.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do a lot of changing to like the actual like frame of that. I've got a lot of stuff to figure out, and I kind of needed all the parts here to do it. But I want, so let's hold this up. Let's say the cart is facing this way, right? Sprocket would usually be below the engine, but in our case, we're actually gonna mount it like up like this. I have to figure out exactly how I wanna do it because I can't get in the way of the exhaust, but this is gonna be back here. And so the torque converter will drive this guy up here, which gives us nothing to worry about underneath the cart. I mean, it'll scuff up the bottom, but who cares?
Right.
So we won't be having to worry about hitting our sprocket, worrying about our chain. All of our suspension parts is gonna be all tucked in,
It's gonna be lower, faster, wider.
more stable.
That's wild.
Yeah. By next video, I'll have all the specs memorized on, you know, exactly what RPM this runs to, what the horsepower is and all that. But man, when we get this thing cranking, it's gonna be absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
So it is gonna be a couple videos before we really dive into this build. I just wanted to show you guys everything that we had. We're still waiting, like I said, on torque converter stuff. That's gonna help me kind of line everything up, figure out where everything's gonna have to be, and then we'll move on to mocking stuff up, start cutting the cage apart. In the meantime, we got your electrical system to finish, the brakes to finish. It's gonna be the same things that I've done on mine already. We're just gonna copy it over on yours. So we probably won't spend a ton of on-camera video time doing that. We'll get that time-lapsed, shoot those upgrades, and we'll have to take them back out, send them. And we got this in the back pocket to keep working on. This is so sick, man. So again, big thank you to Go Power Sports. This build would not be possible without them, and I know you guys are gonna dig it. People have been asking for independent rear suspension. People have been asking for a Tillotson. People have been asking for a Mikuni. People have been asking for 30 series Juggernaut torque converters. Man, we're gonna tackle it all here. People have been asking for front brakes. So this is gonna be a really epic one. And I'm excited for all these kind of new challenges that we're gonna figure out along the way. So
From pulling the thing from the backyard to all the way to completion.
yeah, I've had questions about how we do our roll cages and how we kind of think that stuff out.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be all stuff that we're gonna be able to take on with this build in a way that we didn't really do on ours. Because at the beginning of this, we didn't know we were gonna be a YouTube channel.
Surprise!
Surprise, here we are. And again, big thank you to you guys watching, because without you, we wouldn't be doing any of this stuff. I'd still be breaking my back on that little blue cart out in the woods. But no longer. I think it's gonna be bulletproof. It's gonna be awesome, and I'm so, so excited. So thank you again, Go Power Sports. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.